Good morning, everyone. How are you all today? We are in day 3, week 2. Not 100% sure exactly how many days, but my math tells me we're on day 8. Yesterday was quite a day again. But first, how is everyone doing? Everyone doing okay out there? This trial, like many others, can affect one's mental health. I haven't done my makeup yet. But these type of cases, they do have a tendency to weigh on someone. So please, I know that feeling. I am too. Um, I have a doctor. Well, I don't have. I'm going with my friend today that has a doctor's appointment. It's the new specialist he has to see, so I'm going to be going with him today. He's leaving, I think, around 2, but I think he's getting off work around 12:31 or whatever. So anyway, this morning we're going to stay on target time. I mean, I try to keep it below 2 hours because I know everybody has things to do. And around the 2-hour mark is about whenever they're usually starting up in Arizona. But I do want to emphasize this about the mental health aspect of these cases. These cases deal with disturbing facts, and the fact of it is that there are some people who really do not need to be in the position of being called a parent either. And I'll admit, I'll be the first to admit I'm not perfect by no way, shape, or form. My daughter and I have had many, many issues throughout her life. But never ever would I do the things that Lori VALLOW DAYBELL has done. Letitia Stout. There's so many. Sarah Boone. Now, don't get me wrong. Please don't get me wrong, because I'll tell you this. There have been times when I've been in relationships or been involved in situations where I wanted to just snap out, but I didn't, luckily. So, yesterday I kind of got in my little feels a little bit after watching that video, and it kind of like settled on me some prior to us finishing the stream yesterday with Tylee. 16 years old, that baby was. And JJ, Charles, Tammy, and then the attempted hit on Brandon Bureau. All because of what? We said it in the Idaho case, and I'll say it again now. Money, sex, power. Thank God there was no substances involved in this case. Thank God. I don't think we'd have been able to handle that at all if there had been in this case, because it's just, I mean, if Lori needs a job or something too bad, maybe she could, go to Mexico or something and, come up. Get person, I'm just saying. Just saying. Just saying. Because she's got, I think, 5 bodies attached to her. God knows how many more. Her husband, Joseph, I swear, I'd put money on it that she had something to do with his passing. Even her brother, Alex, their hitman. I mean, but one thing about Alex, I firmly believe, is that whenever they were searching for the kids, for JJ and Tylee, I almost want to say that Alex left those notes for him, or not notes, but left those, clues. Like his phone pinged on around Chad Daybell's property. The strand of hair of Lori's, I believe it was DNA from Chad. Little things like that. But this with Charles, I'm telling you, they might not can pinpoint that she fired a shot or whatever, but I'd almost guarantee it that she did. And then Alex come in and cleaned it up. That's my theory. That's my thoughts. That's my personal opinion. That's not a professional opinion. That's not to be used in a court of law or anything. That's just how my what I feel about it. Of course, we will never ever truly get the 100% truth because everybody else that was involved that day is passed away. So, we were kind of iffy about. Well, I've had some people reach out to me and ask me what my thoughts were on this case, whether or not they would find her guilty. I, honest to God, believe without a shadow of a doubt that they are going to find her guilty. And I, honest to God, believe that they are going to be able to make the conspiracy stick. I was a little iffish because Lori is pro se right now. She should have went with a lawyer, to be honest, but she went pro se, which pro se means that she is representing herself. And she, for some reason, when she gets up to that podium, she wants to ask the witnesses that, for instance, yesterday, I'm going to play the video of the detective that went over the phone traveling and stuff. She's screwed, y'all. She's screwed. Yeah, I know she's gonna get it, but when she gets up on that podium, she wants to ask about this, the dates that Charles went on, and the judge actually reprimanded her yesterday about that. You can't ask those type of questions. And while we're watching this one video, I'm gonna uh find that. But I hope everybody is okay. I know it's Wednesday. Just take a deep breath. If you are here and you have to step away, I totally understand. I appreciate each and every one that is here. Yesterday, my count was 17, I believe. That's what one of my mods sent me, and I'm so thankful for that because my channel is real small, and I'll go for a little while doing videos, and then I'll stop. But life happens. I mean, it happens. So yeah, but I'm gonna try to stay consistent this time with you guys. I know we've got a whole shitload of trials coming up. We've got the Arizona versus VALLOW, DAYBELL, Lori again with the Brandon Boudreaux case. Then we have Karen Reed starting up, I believe, next week as opening statements. She is getting a retrial. Go figure. Maybe this time they can stick her with the death penalty and she'll shut up about it. For real. Then we have next month is going to be a very, very huge one for me. We have the Sean Puff Daddy Brother Love. Did he do it? Yeah, he did it. Did he not get in trouble? No, he's getting his butt in trouble. Combs case. Some entertainment, some music entertainment background in that one, and yeah, y'all will probably see a couple different sides of me during that trial because it deals with a lot of sexual assault, and it deals with a lot of trafficking, human trafficking, drug trafficking, different things. That's going to be a rough trial on me, but I'm excited to be doing it. Then we have the Brian Koberger. Who's excited about the Idaho 4 trial? I am. It's been 2 years, over 2 years now for the Idaho 4. They deserve justice, but what they really deserve is that if there were alternate perpetrators, which there were, I believe, ain't a doubt in my mind about that either. And usually I'm right on what I call. They deserve to get the justice, and not only by you know, they have someone in custody right now, but they need to find the rest of the ones. And I mean, I'm not going to say too much on it because until we have the court documents and we have an individuals in custody, we'll just keep it as it is. Am I going to show anything live or just do a debriefing? I'm going to be showing the. Wait a minute. Which live? On which case, Nye? Because on Sean Combs, I'm planning on doing it live. My schedule permitting, I'm going to do it live. Coburger, I'm going to do live. Trying to think. I know we have some other ones coming up. Yeah. On those, the cases coming up, I won't be doing debriefings on them. I'll be like live trial coverage on it. So, but right now, we're fixing to get into today's stuff, and we're gonna go over the video from yesterday where the detective was revealing the time gaps of where the phone and stuff was at.
Things about this slide. I highlight a couple of things about this slide. I highlight the sandals. I invert the timestamp so you can read it properly, and I do the conversion because it's in Zulu time, which is Greenwich Mean Time, which is always 7 hours ahead of Arizona. So you have to do a little conversion to get to 8:48 in the morning.
Okay. So that again matches with the GPS data from Charles Vallow's phone showing that his phone was now back on scene.
Correct.
Now, you continued to track the phone for the day.
Yes, so this shows a time span 8:49 to 9. The phone is near the Four Peaks house, as was Alex Cox's device. Advancing a little bit, we see that now Alex's device is up in the area of the Chandler Police Department. And another way that I can check that that appears to be accurate is that I know that he was transported there at about that time.
All right, so we saw, before this went purple, that Lori Vallow's cell phone and Alex Cox's cell phone were in the area of the 5531 South Four Peaks.
Yes.
Along with Charles's iPhone.
Yes.
And then we see a movement of Alex's phone to the Chandler Police Department.
Yes, that area where it was at the end of the slide before the animation overpowered the machine was showing a coverage area that includes the Chandler Police Department.
So what are we seeing here then?
Okay, this is just advancing forward through the day. So showing that if you go to the noon hour, then between 12:13 and 12:36, the device moves up to an area by Santan Village Parkway in the 202. And then there is a tower connection with Ms. Vallow's device ending in 9562, showing that device is also in an area served by that tower.
So in this time frame then of 12:30, we see both Charles Vallow's cell phone GPS data and Lori Vallow's cell phone utilizing a cell tower in the area of Santan.
Yes, that's right. So this is again showing the trail of those location data points moving forward in time as Charles Vallow's device is moving roughly east. And you can see also connections made by Lori Vallow's phone and by Alex Cox's phone in similar areas at similar time frames until we get to a point where the device arrives at this house at 1658 East Shari Street in Santan, which I understand to be Mr. Alex Cox's residence at the time.
All right, so the address of 1658 East Shari or Shari Street in Santan was Mr. Cox's residence. And now at 1:40 or so, 1:30 to 1:40, we're talking about Charles Vallow's phone being sending GPS data that it's in that area.
Yes, that's correct. So now looking at 1342 to 1407, so that's 1:42 to 2:07 p.m. You see multiple tower hits from both of Lori's devices, and you also see persistent GPS location data from Mr. VALLOW's device in that same area. Specifically, this call that you're seeing now in the lavender is known to be a call made to Detective Inkland's desk phone.
All right, so we have Lori Vallow in the area of utilizing a cell tower in the area of her brother Alex's house, along with Charles Vallow's iPhone being in that area of his house.
Correct.
And then we see a call to Detective Inkland's desk phone by Ms. Vallow.
That's correct.
And were you aware that Detective Inkland had called Lori to ask them to return to the scene?
I was aware of that.
Were you actually at the scene?
At that time, I don't think so.
Okay. You were there earlier.
That's correct.
So,
No, I'm going to correct that. I was there at that time.
okay. You were still at the
I was
scene
still at the scene at that time. Yes.
2 o'clock.
Yes.
All right, so this next map or slide that we see, what is this time frame we're seeing?
Okay, so this advances just a little bit. So it's 1409 to 1418. Again, we still see red location hits for Mr. Vallow's iPhone. We still see blue for Ms. Vallow's 9562 number. And we see this lavender one come up for her 5452 number. It's an outgoing call to a particular phone number that I know to be associated with the Valley of the Sun mortuary. If you advance to the next slide.
Maybe.
Oh, now you can advance. I was just highlighting the number. This is that same number on their website.
So at go back, at 2:18, Lori
Correct.
Vallow is calling the Valley of the Sun mortuary.
Yes. So here we advance this area. This is going up closer to 243. You'll see location data for the iPhone starts trending westward and is eventually going to arrive again in the area of 5531 South Four Peaks. That's at about 3:11 p.m. when it arrives in that area.
Now, you indicate in one of the icons up there that from 209 to 243 or 1409 to 1443, that you also had noted Lori's, both of her phones associated with her, the Verizon and T-Mobile, as well as Alex's Verizon phone, were initially in the area of Alex's house in Santan. And that sort of throughout that time period, you're saying.
Correct.
And then we see initially Charles's GPS coming back to the residence at 5531 South Four Peaks and arriving there around 2:43.
Arriving there around 3:11. Yep, correct.
So we know that because we have to again look at the slide up at the top. That's when it arrives there.
Correct.
After that, did you become aware that Charles Vallow's cell phone was handed over to Detective Inkland?
I did.
And then presented to someone later in your forensics unit to download, extract, so that you could use it for instance, this.
Correct. It was assigned that item number I listed earlier in the report, and then it was submitted for extraction, and that's how I eventually obtained that location data that you've just seen.
Did you look at any other days to do GPS data?
I did not.
Was this day looked at because you were trying to see what was going on with both Miss Vallow, Alex Cox, as well as Charles, and later just his phone?
Yes, specifically, we initially had concerns about the timeline I was initially asked to look at, and I looked at it at that time, noting those issues, which led to recovery of video and things. Is not primarily my case. I was.
Ladies and gentlemen, phone seats stay off or you will be asked to leave the courtroom.
As it's not primarily my case, beyond that, I would have done whatever else I was asked to do, but I wasn't asked to look at other days in this case.
So ultimately, what you determined was that the timeline of Lori Vallow leaving when the 911 call was and returning back was not accurate.
Yes, as I understood, based on, again, the multiple different ways now that we're able to corroborate location not only of devices that are relevant, because we knew at this point that she had Charles's phone. We knew numbers for her phones. We have video of her at various places. It led to the inescapable conclusion that either the shooting did not happen that close in time to the 911 call, or that she wasn't there for the shooting. I could not see a third way of interpreting that data.
Thank you. I have no other questions for this witness.
Let's head back to Connecticut now.
Okay, that kind of snuck up on me, the ending of that. So, what do you guys think of that? I mean, what I took from it was just basically what Ms. Trina Kay asked him, said, you know, or, you know, is either she was there or she wasn't there when the shot was fired. But I honest to God believe that she was there, and that first shot, or one of those 3 bullets that were found, had something to do with her and her trigger finger. So, yeah. But y'all let me know what you think about it. I'm going to try to find our next video here. Apologize about that. I was drinking some coffee and having some eggs. But, all right, let me see here. The device has clearly departed the scene, he said. So, we watched Holly's interview yesterday. Yeah. Okay, sharp words for yellow. Yeah, but Karen Reed is, I think they have another motion thing going on today. Okay, let's see here. Okay, here's one about, really the main thing that stuck out to me was the whole information we just watched, but I just found the one I want to see here. This one was outside of the jury's presence. So hold on a second. We'll present this one. You're back with fresh coffee. We need coffee on mornings like this. All right, hold on. Let's see here. Something other about Lori's investigator was having some issues with opening files. We're fixing to find out about that right here.
Please be seated. The jury is no longer present. All right, you can't phrase questions as your understanding or what you believe or what you remember. All those are forms of testifying, so you have to be careful how you ask your question. Also, I sustain an objection because of the reference to the grand jury and what was said in the grand jury proceedings. You can use that time and ask the witness Is 3:30 sound right, for example? But let's move on. The reason that I allowed in the various different clips of the defendant's statement over the defendant's, I should say, interview at the police station over the defendant's objection, Rule 106 isn't really applicable in that situation. Rule 106 is intended to complete a statement when only a portion of the statement is offered and it distorts or changes the meaning of the actual statement. And it's really meant for very short statements, not entire interviews or versions of what happened. Additionally, the state has the discretion to only admit certain parts of your statement that are admissions. They're not going to admit statements, nor should they admit statements that are self-serving hearsay. So there's a reason why your interview has been cut up into different pieces. That's just for the record. Let's have everyone ready at 10 a.m. tomorrow. We'll discuss those other motions, give the defendant a chance to meet with her team about those other motions that we talked about this morning. So we'll do that at 10. We'll have the jury here and ready to go at 10:15 to resume with this witness. Anything else from the state?
No, Your Honor.
From the defense?
Yes, we have one item, Your Honor. On Thursday, we were handed this by the state in the morning. It's a new extraction of the devices of Charles VALLOW, and it's the gray key that we had requested, but none of them open. So we have a flash drive, and we got it to our expert, and now it's...
Go there.
You what?
I have to go see him. He doesn't.
So they're not opening. So I don't know if we need to get a new extraction or if it was tested
Well, I
before
don't-
it was handed over.
I don't know if it's a matter of what program is being used to open it. Do we know? I think we need more information.
Yeah.
We can't utilize it if it's blank.
Well,
So
is it Mr. Dworkin says he can't open it at all?
it's my investigator that can't open it, and then he'll hand it over to Mr.
Why
Dworkin
don't you
as
just
well.
tell me, sir? What's your name for the record?
Jeff White.
All right. What's the problem?
I tried to open it. I had Lonnie on the phone this morning. He's out of town, but he is on his way he's on his way back. He won't be here till probably 6 to 7 o'clock tonight. And I need to go up and see if he's able to extract any information from it.
Are you just trying to click on it and opening it? Or are you opening it with a particular program?
I sat with him and we were going over things for about 4 hours this morning.
Okay. I guess, where's the extraction coming from? Who's handing that over to you?
That is the Chandler Police Department handed over the raw data from Gray Key. So it's just raw random data. So I don't know it.
So it's not, is it?
It's not parsed into any sort of way to read.
The reader. That's what I was working with
There
Lonnie.
is no reader with it. It would have to be then input into a Cellbrite to parse the data. It is the Gray Key raw data.
All right.
And was trying to do that this morning, and that's what I spent 4 hours doing this morning.
I think unless you have a Cellbrite account, you're not
I have-
going to be able to open that.
I have two different kinds of, I have the old version and the new version of Cellbrite, and I couldn't get them to open. The Cellbrite that they gave us is an old version, the 7.2, I think it is. And I think.
They gave us? We
I'm
didn't
sorry?
give you Cellbrite.
It's on the.
That's a UFED reader. That's not Cellbrite.
The Cellbrite is on the Discovery, is on the,
With that,
I'm sorry?
with the Discovery we just handed over,
With the Discovery that was handed over before, it's downloaded onto my computer.
no, I think that's right.
All right.
With the FDRs.
I'm not sure that
I
that's
got two different
correct.
ones.
I think that it would need to go to Mr. Dworkin to review.
Is there someone at the police department that Mr. Dworkin can maybe get on a call with to try to figure out what the disconnect is here?
Oh, he should be, hopefully, in the next hour and 40 minutes, he'll be back home.
I guess if he has a problem, I mean, obviously I have multiple problems with the fact that we're still talking about an expert that has been presumptively precluded.
Right.
while the state is nearing ending its case in chief. That
I
being
guess
said,
in theory, it could be for the next trial, but I don't know that that's going to happen either.
So I guess I would need to know first if that's actually a problem for Mr. Dworkin or not. And then if so, we would have to try to, perhaps he could explain why it's a problem.
I guess, is there someone Mr. Dworkin can, a contact point to try to figure out why, if it's a problem on this end versus that end?
I don't know, have anyone off the top of my head. My case agent is out ill today, so I couldn't tell you who that would be.
Okay.
Your Honor, she had an expert come to testify this about the gray key. I don't know if he's a person that was on the stand on Thursday that we could ask about this. I don't know if he made the extractions and gave them to the prosecution.
I don't know if that's technically an extraction as opposed to the raw data.
That is just the raw data.
I'm still trying to figure out, is it a problem with what's been disclosed or is it a problem with who's trying to open it, the correct programs? I guess get with Mr. Dworkin later tonight and see if it can be resolved. If not, I'm going to have to figure out who he needs to contact or try to problem solve tomorrow sometime.
We'll let you know in the morning, Your Honor.
But again, this is unlikely to be an issue for this trial, but it could be something for the next trial. All right, we'll be at recess. I wish I had a better resolution, but I don't right now.
I'm traveling. Two different.
Well, there's no need in us to watch the seal. So, oh goodness gracious. Yes, the whole thing is just a game for Lori, a pastime and nothing more. It's disgusting. It is. I do remind myself constantly about it. It just gets so aggravating at times. It does. It gets so aggravating at times. Had me some eggs and now I'm like sleepy. All right, let's see here. What are we going to do next? Oh, here's one. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Let me see here. Let me present this one. Hold up. I found one.
All right, we're on the record. State of Arizona versus Lori Daybell. It's 10:02 a.m. The attorneys are present. The defendant's present. This is a time set to discuss a few of the motions before we bring in the jury at about 10:15.
Judge, I do have one other thing to raise that goes back to what we dealt with yesterday. Apparently, Ms. VALLOW also attempted service on another one of the next of kin in Louisiana, Larry Woodcock. Again, that information, including his address, which she should not have access to, and in violation of victims' rights and the Arizona Constitution, was filed with the clerk's office. So we have multiple people that she's subpoenaing that are not on her 15.2, that she's violating victims' rights for. So I'm going to ask, of course, the court seal that subpoena as well, since it includes his address.
All right, it's ordered sealing any subpoena that was filed relating to Larry Woodcock. Do you have outstanding subpoenas on next of kin or, well, let's start with there. Next of kin.
Let me check, Your Honor. check on that, Your Honor, but not that we're aware of.
As to the extent that you have subpoenas for next of kin on either of your cases, you need to coordinate the service of those subpoenas through the county attorney's office. They can facilitate in that and getting those people served if they are indeed witnesses that have relevant information in these cases.
And both of those people, Your Honor, Robert Vallow and Larry Woodcock, were not on my list and were not intended to be subpoenaed. So it was an oversight.
So I don't know how OPDS got that information to serve them subpoenas. So someone on your team needs to double check with OPDS that the correct people are being subpoenaed.
And Your Honor, they are signed by the defendant. So
All right.
she is the one who's signing those subpoenas. She is the one acting as counsel. So she is the one asking to send those out.
So how was it an oversight?
I just signed them all and we got them prepared and I signed them all and I did not check them. It's my own fault. But I apologize to the families.
So do you know the names of all the people you subpoenaed, or you just signed a stack of subpoenas?
I did sign the stack, but I thought I was aware of all that they were the ones that I had asked to subpoena.
For this trial or for the next one as well?
Just for this one. We haven't done our subpoenas yet for the next trial.
I'll try. And for the next trial, I need you to be more diligent in what you're signing. And if there is a subpoena for someone who is a next of kin or a victim under the Victim's Bill of Rights, the subpoena that needs to be coordinated through county attorney's office, or is there a victim representative attorney? I haven't had one yet.
There is not a victim representative attorney, so it would come through us, Your Honor.
Okay. We sort of addressed the motion in limine yesterday about the questioning of any police personnel regarding the timing of the arrest, why the investigation took as long as it did, who was or wasn't arrested. Again, I'll ask the defendant, if you think those are questions that you need to ask, please ask to take a break first, but otherwise I'm expecting you to not ask those types of questions of any witness. We then have let's take up the Janice Cox and Summer Shiflett video. You've had a chance to review that?
I did.
What's your position on the state's motion?
Your Honor, I obviously think that it should not be precluded, that it is evidence in fact of why that happened on July 11th, that it happened. So if there had been no bat, there would have been no gun. It was a reason why self-defense was even an issue on that day, on July 11th.
Let me make sure I understand the state's position correctly. The state hasn't seen the actual video that these two witnesses have watched.
Correct. It
Right.
apparently.
So
was-
absent someone coming in and introducing the actual video into evidence, which could have its own evidentiary issues, but absent that, they can't testify in court about things they saw on a video because it's hearsay. They're testifying to things that they observed outside of court, and there's no verification, no way to cross-examine on that. So my ruling would be that unless some video comes in and someone lays foundation for that video, that no witness would be allowed to discuss what they saw, heard, or viewed in that video. All right. Then we have the state's third motion to preclude defendant's witnesses. Let's discuss. I'm going to ask you again, Ms. Daybell, how do you pronounce the first person's name? Vaisa? Vicea. Has your team or your investigator, anyone been able to locate that person?
I would have to check with my investigator, Your Honor.
What about Gabriel Bonilla?
I know that he has made contact several times with Gabriel. I don't know if he has interviewed him, but I know that he's made contact with him several times.
Do you know if he's been served with a subpoena?
We're looking that up now.
And while you're at it, I'm going to ask about Ashlyn Rind or Rind and Barry Cox.
Okay. What does it say? So it looks like that Ashlyn Rind was not served or found, that Gabe Bonilla, OPDS, several times tried to serve that subpoena and it has not been served. And I'm not sure on the Barry Cox.
All right. Well, as was indicated by the state yesterday, they may be resting their case in Chiefview. I shouldn't say you're kind of out of time. You are out of time. I don't know that I need to effectively preclude them because you haven't been called as witnesses. In the event that they are served or surfaced, we'd still need to have a discussion of whether they have any relevant information and whether they should still be precluded because of the late disclosure of what that testimony might be. So unless they're produced to the state for an interview here within the next day or two, they would be effectively precluded. Even if they are produced for an interview, they still could be precluded. Zachary Cox, let's talk about Zachary Cox. Has he been subpoenaed? The state has interviewed that witness apparently, but based on their motion, they don't believe he has any relevant information to offer for this trial. Do you believe he has relevant information to offer?
I do, Your Honor.
And what is that?
He was with my brother, Adam Cox, that day on the 11th and was in communication with Adam and Charles during that day and prior to that day.
What testimony would he offer that would be admissible, that would be relevant to either self-defense or this did or didn't occur?
He would be able to testify about what Adam already testified to, verify it or unverify it.
What specifically?
About what their itinerary was during that day and the day before and the following day.
When did this, well, the state interviewed this witness?
Obviously, I had no idea what he would be called about. So I talked to him for a few minutes.
Did he have any idea what he would be called about?
No,
All
I
right.
think unless the defendant says that he's relevant to impeach Adam in some way, then I don't really understand the relevant. I mean, she just said that he could be testify to verify what Adam said. So she's going to call him to confirm that what Adam said was correct.
Is that he would be confirming what Adam said, or would he be disputing what Adam said? What specifically? Can you give me some more specifics?
From his interview with my investigator, he would be disputing what Adam said.
Well, then I'm not aware of that interview. With my understanding and interviewing the defense Jeff White is that basically they spoke for a brief time. It got heated.
Who's
and
they?
Jeff White and Zachary Cox. They did not have a full interview, is my understanding. I've not been provided with a recording of that, but in my discussion, my interview of Jeff White as a potential witness, he advised just that that Zach had advised that he had lived with them, meaning Charles and Lori, prior to them moving into this house, prior to them being separated. And that's about the extent of what I understood their interview to be. But maybe Mr. White can provide information as to how he.
Mr. White, do you have any information on, you interviewed Zachary Cox?
Yes.
All right. And did Mr. Cox provide information that would be relevant to this trial to you?
When I spoke to Mr. Cox, he was, in short, he was very belligerent. When we had spoken, I was asking about information about his father and him, as well as with Charles. The information that I did obtain from him did not agree with what his father had told me in the interview through the state.
His father being?
Adam.
No. Do you know if Zachary Cox has been served a subpoena?
As far as I know, I think that went through OPDS.
All right. I guess we'll see if he actually gets served and shows up at court. He may not, in which case it's not an issue I need to deal with. But if he does show up, we will need to flesh out whether he has relevant information and whether he should be allowed to testify. All right, is the state going to be calling today?
Your Honor, at the state, obviously, we still have a witness on the stand. And then, as I advised, we'll be calling Ariel Werther. And then we would call Detective Duncan. So we
Okay.
may finish tomorrow, Your Honor.
Okay. My staff just signaled me that the last juror did just show up. Okay, we'll bring the jury in. Let's have that witness come back up.
And then on the next day, there was another date scheduled with a Jennifer Gilbert at 12 o'clock.
That sounds correct.
And then the next day, there was another date
Your Honor,
scheduled with a Juliet at 10 a.m.
And obviously
Right.
trying to smear the victim.
All right, the objection sustained.
Detective, did you find searches for these dates
Can I
for my
object?
husband back
Hold
to?
on.
If we can do a
Hold on.
sidebar.
Sustained.
This is a different
What-
question,
no,
Your Honor.
Whether he went on dates or had dates scheduled is not relevant to this case. Ask another question. You can ask about the date of the person that testified the night before because that person was in here and had some relevant information. But other than that, any of these other questions are not relevant.
Had to do it, y'all. I had to play that video for the simple fact of every witness, it seems like, that has went up on the stand, she has had to, what about this person? What about that person? And like yesterday with the detective, she was like, well, were you aware of the $2 million life insurance policy he had on me? Like, Lori, get real. Let me see here. Give me 1 second, y'all. No. I have to be careful with some of this stuff because I don't want to get a strike. So, I have to be real careful. I do have this one here we can play real quick. It's a recap of all of last week too. So, yeah, hold on 1 second.
Lori Vallow Daybell getting slapped down in court.
Don't flatter yourself.
Daybell is acting as her own attorney in her trial for allegedly conspiring to murder her fourth husband. This witness, Nancy Jo Hancock, told the jury that she went on a dinner date with Charles Vallow. They met on a dating site for Mormons.
He told me he was in the process of a divorce.
Did Charles really just tell you a lot about his life?
A lot about his life. Yes.
Did he mention his wife by name?
Yes.
Then it was Lori Daybell's turn with cross-examination. Listen to the edgy exchange.
You just spent your whole date getting to know each other, talking about me.
Don't flatter yourself. No, we did not spend the whole time talking about you.
Lori Daybell and her fifth husband, Chad, have already been convicted in the slayings of her son, JJ, and daughter, Tylee.
Okay, hold on 1 second here. Trying to find all of the ones that we have missed or what have you. Yeah. I just don't know, y'all. But that's basically all of it for where we're up to. Hey, Laura. Court will start here probably about 12:30, I believe. I do believe that's when it should start. But I'm fixing to. Does anybody have any questions or anything? Sorry, I was looking to see. I think somebody pulled up. So, hi Laura, welcome. But yeah, I believe it starts at around 12ish, 12:30ish today. So, if y'all have any questions, I'll do all I can to try to answer them. So, thank you to everyone who showed up today, who has been here for the past week and a half now. And y'all did hear it correctly. The state did say something about they may be done with witnesses today. So, yeah. My hair is getting long. I keep threatening to cut it off, but I don't think I'm gonna cut it no more. Let it just grow and grow and grow. I haven't seen Burden yet. I don't know if she's here or not in the chat, but yeah, Nye, one of my mods, is dropping some links right now. The docket, he is wonderful, Eric. He's also known by Chasing Paper on X, formerly Twitter. He will be live streaming it. Of course, East Idaho News with Nate Eaton, they're streaming it. Court TV, Law and Crime, the usuals. I'm more partial to Court TV, I guess, because I wake up with Julie in the morning and go to sleep with Vinielle late nights. So, hey, there she is. I kind of figured you were. I can't see who all's in the chat. All I got is an eyeball with a number. So I usually can if I have my phone pulled up, but my phone's being silly today. So yeah. But and another person, if y'all are really passionate about true crime now, and true crime is a sector of the world that when we say true crime, it is truly true crime. Um, that the things that these victims go through um, in these cases, I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. I'm a survivor of horrendous crime. Um, I was one of the lucky ones, but there's so many out there who are not. Um, so there are resources running across the bottom of the screen. My contact information's on there also. Yeah, it is burden. It's the worst moment. So there, when you think it can't get no worse, life reaches out and grabs you and says, "Here, let me give you this." And there are some wonderful people in this world, and to know a lot of it could be excluded from their lives if when people reach out to get help and stuff like that. They can't get help. What's to be done? Um, I honest to God feel like, anyone who does true crime, like me and Burden Docket, all the ones that, and on my channel, my YouTube channel, I have a section. It's called the YouTube Media Triangle. That's like the Bermuda Triangle, only it's for YouTube Media Triangle. It has a lot of great creators there. One of them being our great and wonderful Burden of Proof that's in our chat. She's been a huge influence and inspiration for me to get back up and get back in the chair and start talking more. Because I have to admit, whenever I stopped talking about it and stuff, I kind of felt myself bogged down. But Burden dropped a link for Colby Ryan, which is Lori's oldest and only surviving child. This young man has to live with something every day. The fact that his mother took his siblings and the one man that had been a father to him and Tylee, which was Charles VALLOW, because Lori and Charles were married for 14, 15 years. And then she decides she's going to throw it all away because she had someone show her the attention she wanted. And only bad thing is, though, about them two, her and Chad, they thought they were going to be rich and famous and live off of everybody's insurance money and all la 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 la. Social Security each month that Lori was drawing off of Tylee. I have those numbers wrote down. Hold on, let me pull out the handy dandy notebook here. On the Social Security thing for Tylee in 2019, Tylee received $1,859 a month. Lori received $1,951 a month for what's called in Missouri, we call it just a representative payee or whatever. But because Lori was married to Joseph Ryan, Tylee's father, she would have been able to receive like a survivor's thing, I believe, because they were married long enough. But now JJ, he received $1,951 a month from whenever his adopted dad, Charles was his adopted dad, but he was his daddy. And then Lori received 1,951 because they mirror those payments. All that income between Tylee and JJ, their two incomes, plus the 1951 that she received just, to get it or whatever, that's $8,000 a month. That's a lot of money. I don't even talk about it. Well, I mean, now that I've got a little side gig, I actually get close. Well, around about 1,000 a month. If and when I get to work my side job and they get to pay me my money. So, yeah. People become victims. The victims became even more bigger victims in this case because of Lori's greed. And I honest to God don't think that Chad had any inclination about the money. I mean, he could have. I mean, I don't know, but he's right where he needs to be right now, and that's on death row. Wishing. He probably wishes that he would have just held on to his wife and his family now. That's just my opinion. Because of Lord have mercy. And that leads me to another point here. If you're in a relationship currently and you are thinking about testing the waters, get out of the relationship you're in first before you go do that. It's not fair to the people who are getting the short end of the stick, you could say. And if you don't get out of that relationship, don't blame no one but yourself when everything around you starts going to hell and back. So, yeah. So many victims. So many. Too many. It would just be nice if they could get enough evidence up and hit Lori with the death of Tylee's father and Colby's father, Joseph Ryan. Because all we need is a death penalty on her, and hopefully they can just put her out of her misery too, because she's evil. And now she's sitting there and she's representing herself just to be seen, basically. Because, yes, she's doing somewhat okay on her legalese and stuff, but she's still, the fact of the matter is that she is still an evil, gold-digging, narcissistic, loco, Lucifer looking lawyer Lori VALLOW DAYBELL. I knew I'd come up with a good one, y'all. Y'all know how I come up with some names on these. Like with Letitia Stalk, we had La Pipi Malingering Stalk. Malingering. Death penalty is not on the table here in Arizona, is it? Can somebody tell me that? Burden, do you know if this is a death penalty in Arizona or either one of them, Charles or Brandon's? What about Brandon's? Well, either way, justice is she. We've already received some justice because she's serving 3 life sentences without parole in Idaho for the murders of Tylee, Ryan, JJ VALLOW, her children, and then the conspiracy with her 5th and current husband, Chad Daybell, on the murder of his wife, Tammy Daybell. I need to know how many Snapchat accounts I have. I just had a friend notification come up, and it was my name. So, But that's what I would like to see. I would like to see someone as evil as Lori get the death penalty because they sure didn't care whenever they was alive and everybody else. So, but anyway, that's about it. I'm gonna look and see if I can find us something here to. Mm, all right. Close that out. I've got something here for us. Because as we're getting ready to see the state uh, be done, I just want to, you know, um, all right, hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second here. Okay, get the life prison. So she is gonna life in prison is on the table in Arizona. Good deal. I'll be happy with that. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Hold on 1 second, y'all. I'll be more prepared tomorrow. Have to be careful with what we play on here because they will strike you. So, I don't know what all I can play either on here because hold on. Y'all hang with me just a moment.
You are.
Taser, taser, taser.
Oh, holy shit.
That on camera,
Me
dude.
too.
Holy, holy.
Doesn't work out.
La cultura. Dai, vieni, non te la faccio, dai, non te la faccio più, dai, basta, basta fare solo. La cultura.
It's okay, buddy. It's okay.
Я понял, все. La cultura. Dai, vieni, non te la faccio, dai, non te la faccio più, dai, basta fare solo. La cultura. It's okay, buddy. It's okay.